2022 is now here, and we get to reflect on 2021. And this time I reflect on my 20s and my 30s life decisions, goals, and aspiration. It's important to find what works for you. In my 20s and early 30s, I felt lost and struggled with a lot of uncertainty about life. I received a lot of advice from friends, family, my bosses, my mentors, and so on. And they were sometimes not very thoughtful advice. But I felt even more lost. The more advice I received, the more mixed feelings I had inside about myself, and I wasn't very sure about myself. Someone said, don't take this job, take that job. I have to do this, do that. You have to save money and keep making money. You have to work hard, don't be lazy. You have to get married in your 20s. I ran into dread from these external expectations, which really destroyed peace within myself. Inside, I was going through a chaos. So today, I'm here to help you navigate your 20s and give you ultimate advice for every 20-year-old. Therefore, you can find peace within yourself and find your own roadmap of life. Let's dive in. Hello everyone, Happy New Year. I'd like to welcome every self-healer in 20s to this video. Today we're going to discuss what it means to be in 20s and find the map of your dreams and aspiration and so on and so forth. We run into a lot of choices in life and we feel like we have to go with certain choices because other people are doing it or telling us to do so. Looking at our modern society, from the day we are born, we often follow external systems such as schooling, family dynamics, friendship, work, so on and so forth. This external conditioning dictates our self-worth. If we get a good grade, we feel good about ourselves and have a better self-esteem or self-worth. If we don't get a degree or a certain skill set, we begin to compare ourselves with others and feel less worthy. Consciously or unconsciously, we use these external conditions as a metric for our success and self-worth. In my 20s, I found myself feeling deeply lost and I didn't know who I was because I kept trying to meet these external expectations. In my college years, I didn't know what major I wanted to take or I wanted to study. I went to college because a lot of my friends decided to go to college. So I took the random classes like math, anthropology, women study, business classes, biology, chemistry, art classes, so on. And I was just exploring, I didn't have any aim in taking this bunch of classes. So I took these classes because my friends were taking them. College was not fun because I found myself playing video games too much because the classes weren't very entertaining. So the playing video game was the main source of joy. One time I received a call from academic advisor and he asked, why are you taking these classes? And then I explained my situation and he suggests general study major. So for someone like me who felt lost and wanted to try everything, the general study major was a quite reasonable offer. I decided to do what I want to study and build my own curriculum. I want to use the video game as an analogy here. At the time I was playing a game called WoW, the World of Warcraft. It's a MMO game. And you get to choose a class and level up and building things up, completing quests. So I was playing a hunter, and there are multiple classes like hunter, warrior, priest, mage, warlock, shaman, and so on. In life, it's important to explore various classes and see what you want to play. Because sometimes we are born as a warrior, but we have to do a job doing the priest or hunter role. Maybe you can take a high demanding job because you're built like a tank. It's a game terminology, which means you have high tolerance level with discomfort or stress. If you're a crafter, you want to have a lot of ideas, then you don't want to take 9-to-5 corporate job. Having your own business might be a better fit for you. So it's important to choose a class or a character that you want to play for a long time. And when I got my social work degree, I went into counseling and I took a job, sort of a basic 9-to-5 job like many other colleagues. And it was very demanding, and I dreaded going to work every single day. Then again, I found myself falling into video game addiction. And it was important for me to have at least 4 to 5 hours of playing video game, because working 8 hours every single day was dreadful. And in a way, it was my way to have a work-life balance. I need to have sort of a complete separation from work, and video games were effective for that reason. However, deep down, I felt depressed, and it felt like I was living a meaningless life. So I bought a table that was sort of a designated place for self-improvement. How can I move forward with this degree that I have? At the table, I spent at least a couple hours just hyper-focused on self-improvement. And here's a strategy that I found. And here comes the ultimate advice for every 20-year-old. I call this strategy 5-5-5 strategy. The first 5 is 5 role models. I was completely lost, so I decided to pick just 5 role models that I can kind of repeat and mimic their behaviors. I had a Michael Jordan, Jeff Bezos, Spider-Man, Peter Levine, Jay Shetty, and Pablo Picasso. I wanted to learn consistency from Michael Jordan, pursuing passion from Jeff Bezos, learning courage and confidence from Spider-Man, obtaining compassion and therapeutic skills and experience from Peter Levine, and creativity and thinking out of the box from Pablo Picasso. So on the table, I began to read books, videos, and articles about them, see how their lifestyle can be applicable to my lifestyle. So I began to have routines and manage time for different passion projects I wanted to pursue. At the time, I planned to move to LA from Seattle and took a bunch of clinical training and networked with different therapists. And I start my YouTube channel. This is one of the passion projects I started about 2 years ago. So I found that having this designated place can be helpful, because the human brain attaches different purpose to different places. Simply having a table for self-improvement is a game changer for me. So find a table, find a place where you can just focus on your self-improvement and choose 5 role models that you want to kind of mimic and repeat and apply to your life. So that is first 5. Next 5 is 5 habits of self-care. Not only being productive and being high achiever are important, but also is self-care significant. Even more, self-care is an essential way to preserve and generate energy for productivity and achievements. The 5 habits that I choose at the time, and I'm still doing, include at least 10 minutes of light exercise in the morning, eating breakfast, running a mile every single day, resting 10 minutes every 2-3 hours of work. And lastly, the 5 minutes of deep breathing or meditation. The name of the game with the self-care is shifting away from distractions. We often get fixated on something like work, Netflix show, YouTube videos, or just our thoughts. Self-care can be an anchor to help shift away from these external distractions. We're living in a very highly stimulated society, and there are a lot of distractions that we have to manage, because we oftentimes unconsciously we expose ourselves to it. In order to focus on meaningful and purposeful things, it's important to have that anchor, like a self-care activities, to focus on, so that you get to check in with yourself and switch directions if necessary. Alright, the last 5 is $50,000. I normally don't talk about money in my videos. However, it's important to have financial security. In 20s, it's a great place to begin building your financial security. I'm not a financial advisor, so please take this with a grain of salt. So in my 20s, I was doing whatever I wanted to do, and you can do whatever you want to do because it's your choice. It's an exploratory phase. You want to explore as many experiences as possible, because those experiences will lead to better things in your life. On the other hand, we want to think about the spending and budgeting and saving. It's important to both spend and budget and save wisely. In my 20s, I spent too much on meaningless, stupid things, and I wasn't very smart about money. But now I'm thinking back, if I get to practice saving, spending, budgeting wisely, it'll be much easier in 30s. So I hope you get to have some sort of a financial plan, so you get to maybe save 30 or 20% of your income. This way it can get to $50,000 or $30,000, when you turn 30. Because with that money, you can pretty much do anything, right? You can start your business, you can go back to school, you can start invest. So the $50,000 or around there, it's a good money to start something. So saving and budgeting is a fundamental step to financial literacy. So it's important to practice that in your 20s, because eventually you're gonna make more, and it's important to grow that financial literacy, so that it leads to happiness or freedom, because the money is a resource. And your 20s is a time to explore the world, explore different people, educate yourself with something, and expand your horizon. I personally experienced a lot of fear in my 20s. I still vividly remember I didn't give it all because of fear. In 20s, you want to give your all to the experiences that feel right for you. It's important to practice that, because in your 30s, you're gonna have much more on your plate, and sometimes you don't get to practice that experience that feel right for you. Even if you fail, you learned how to be confident with uncertainty. Confidence doesn't mean you're sure or certain about something. It's about willingness to experiment and practice something with uncertainty. Even if you fail, it's okay, because you're gonna try one more time and try another time, and every single time it'll be different. In my 20s, I wanted to be a professional breakdancer, and remember practicing about 3 to 4 hours every single day, and I broke 4 fingers, and I had a stiff neck all the time, and many injuries. Although I'm not a professional breakdancer now, I was able to have self-trust and tolerance with fear and uncertainty. So remember, 5-5-5 strategy, 5 role models, 5 habits for self-care, and $50,000 saving. I hope that you found our time helpful, and take good care of yourself, and go out there and achieve or do whatever you want to do, but have an intention behind that. So I will see you next time.